Hi, this is the Headset Historian. So today's video, we got something new, something that's not old or historical, but maybe become a part of history in the near future. Wait, that sounds a bit ominous. I, I mean, as in it may become something of historical value within the VR space, not to say that it'll be a headset relegated to the history books anytime soon. Anyway, this is the Pimax Crystal. So probably a lot of you know about this headset already. If not, I'll put a link in the description where you can see all the specs. But to sum it up as briefly as possible, this is a very, very high resolution, high PPD headset with the focus being on clarity and functionality. So this headset is standalone and PCVR, native PCVR, that's important. It's not using like a compressed, streamed PCVR, but it has an actual dedicated DisplayPort connection. So I'm part of the beta tester group for this project, or for this product. So the product still isn't released to the public just yet. It's been delayed a few times, which I think is quite understandable. How those delays are communicated is important, but you know, something being delayed until it's ready is always the best way to go. So yeah, this is the Pimax Crystal, and I haven't opened this yet. I just got it. This is my first time taking a look at it. So whatever reactions I have or any impressions I get, they'll be quite honest and upfront. I paid for this with my own money, just to be clear. This isn't a promotional thing or anything. Also, the channel is clearly far too small for that at this stage. So just also to add a bit of context, I did try an earlier version of this back in November. I traveled over to the VR Days convention over in Rotterdam, and the Pimax Crystal was shown off there, so I tried it there. I really liked it, and yeah, so that kind of helped me cement my idea to go ahead and purchase this. So let's take a look at it together. Also, excuse the camera angle and everything. I'm kind of doing this very quickly without really much setup. So I've got the camera set up in a really weird way. This isn't where I'll normally be recording, but just so I could get this done, because I wanted to record the unboxing but have it actually be my first time unboxing it, which I thought is kind of a useful perspective to get. So anyway, here we go. Hi Max. Nice felt. The unboxing is always quite nice with Pimax, I think. And man, this has been a long time coming. I've been waiting for this for quite some time, so I'm very excited indeed. So this is, I believe you call it what is it, a PVT? Like, I forget the exact meaning for it. It's like production viable test or something. I'm probably wrong in that, but this is extremely close to retail, potentially could be retail, as in there'll be testing done on this. That's part of what I'm doing, and then if this all lives up to if this all matches what's expected, then this will be the version that's shipped to consumers. So this part here is actually going to the battery bank on the back. So this is a power cable from the headset to the battery bank in the back. So first of all, we'll take out the headset. Okay, so this all comes out in one kind of lump. I hope you can see this all pretty well. Oh man, this is this is pretty exciting for me personally. Oh man, I've wanted this headset for so long. Okay, so I'll pop the headset over to the side for a second. And let's take a look at what other things are in the box. This is the additional battery. Hopefully with the audio, I'll try to mix both the vocal audio and the audio effects, you know, so you can hear everything rather than just my voice, but I'm not sure how it comes out. Okay, so this is the battery, and this is interesting. I believe this is the charging dock, but the battery pops out. Well, that's fairly tight. It's quite in there. Let me try it. Okay, hopefully I'm not breaking anything here. It seems like this should pop out, right? I guess anything, maybe a couple of tries it'll get looser. That's Wow, that's really that's really stuck in there. Um, I'll come back to that in a minute. But interestingly, this I thought was the charging dock. Yeah, this seems like the charging dock. Here's a spare battery. So yeah, out of interest. Okay, yeah, I see how the mechanism works now. I think I was pressing it at the wrong point. So there's... Wow, why is that not coming out? Oh my god. There we go. Wow, okay, that was tough. I don't think it's meant to be that tough. Let's see. But yeah, so we have two batteries here. I think there was a battery. Huh. I think I might already have a battery in the headset, so that might be 3 batteries. Let me try this again. Slots in. Click. I wonder if perhaps the mold of this is... Ow! Oh god. I wonder if the mold for this one in particular, maybe I got one that was like slightly too small or something. Oh my goodness. Anyway, it's a curved battery. It's quite nice. I'll have to figure that out. I'll take a look at it some more, but for now, let's put that to the side. Then I don't think there's much else in the box. The cable's probably underneath here. Yep, that seems to be it. So the cable's underneath here. That is... Yeah. So we got Pimax. That's some sort of, warranty card or, just some information for downloading the manual. Then come out there. Okay, we got a little screwdriver, screws. That's for the lenses, I believe. And the screwdriver probably also is the same screwdriver for the audio solution. You can swap that out. A little microfiber cloth for the lenses. That's always a nice addition. Here we have the DMAS, which is the premium audio option. I believe these are still blue. Yeah, so these are still the same as the 8KX and 5K Super. So hopefully these will be black on the retail models, but for now these are a pre-order bonus. And this is the cable. This is a 5-meter cable. It's got DisplayPort, two USB-Cs, one's for data, one's for power. You'll see this one here, the USB 3, that one's for data, so that one needs to be plugged into your computer. This one here, USB 2, this one's for power only. So what you can do is you can plug that into your PC if you want, or you can plug it into a wall adapter directly, which will, if it's a fast charger, will give more power and will make the battery last longer in PCVR mode. So that's something worth noting, is that the battery in PCVR mode does actually drain over time, but at the moment I think it's, with a fast charger, it's about 6 hours. So personally, that's not an issue. And the battery is hot swappable, so perhaps it's an issue for some people. I think the majority of people won't be too put off. It's like a quirk. It's a bit strange, maybe, but it's not a deal breaker in my mind, and I would imagine for most it's not. There's also an additional, yes, these are the 2 USB-C cables that come for charging the controllers. The controllers are built-in batteries. That's very nice. Is there anything else in here? I think that's just padding, just to match up that. Maybe I suppose that's it. Okay, so that's everything out of the box. I'll pull back the headset now, the main event. And here we have it, the Pimax Crystal. A long time coming. This was originally meant to launch Q3 of last year, but these things get delayed, and with everything else that's going on, everything's been delayed for a long time, so that's all fine. This faceplate's removable. Here the headset cable comes out, and there's like an extension here where you plug the cable in. Traditionally in older Pimax headsets you just plug the cable straight in here. This is a very nice addition, considering that you have the all-in-one functionality, like the standalone functionality. This means you can just pop out the cable, you can go do whatever you want, or if you want to switch to wireless mode, which is not available yet but will be at some stage, then you can plug this straight back in. I find that is a very nice touch indeed. Up here we have this is a micro HDMI connector. This will be used for the Y gig adapter, so that would be for much less much more lossless, a much more lossless signal with less latency. That'll be over WiGig rather than using Wi-Fi. This headset does have Wi-Fi 6E, but for now there's no way for us to test that or anything. So maybe us testers will get something soon, but for now I think it's still being kept internal. Then there's just a little rubber gasket that pops back on. That's good. As I mentioned, this is a power cable, and underneath you can see there's also just your normal head strap. It's elasticated, which is a very nice touch. A lot do not have that. A lot are kind of more rigid, which personally I don't like, so that's a very nice touch. And I'll probably add on an additional strap going across, which is something that I've done with pretty much every headset. So next, the battery's on the back. So here the battery goes up here into that, and there you have it. And that seems to be, no, it's not clipped in yet. There, it's clipped in, and again, quite stiff to remove. A lot easier this time to remove it from this though than the other one, so I'll have to look into that. Maybe that's something that needs improved. Oh, yeah, no, I think that mechanism, I don't know if it's maybe both my batteries or both adapters, so that might be something that needs to be improved. Here's the controllers. I'll move them for a side for a second. Comes with a comfort style facial gasket, so it's got more surface area touching your forehead. If you prefer that, it might be more comfortable. I'll test that out and see both. The gasket that comes in it is very reminiscent rather of the HTC Vive, although I will say this material feels a fair bit better than the foam that comes with the HTC Vive. Then here we can see these clear spherical lenses. These ones that we have right now are plastic, so these are test lenses, and the glass lenses, which will be the official ones, are coming a little bit later. But yeah, and you can see these are screwed in here and here, but there is magnets. You can remove the screws if you want, if you find yourself changing out the lenses regularly, but for now they're screwed in. This sensor here, I believe, I'm quite sure, is the proximity sensor to see if the headset's on your face or not. So personally, this shape of a facial gasket I quite like. I'll probably remove the nose guard. I actually like to have a nose gap so I could look down at my phone or see if there's a dog running about my feet or whatever. Then here we have, this is the standard audio solution. It's quite similar, I would imagine, to the old standard audio solution on the older headsets, but it does have a sound port, which should help quite some bit. But of course I'll be switching that for the DMAS. Again though, I would love for this to be black, so hopefully I can get this switched out at some stage in the future for a black version, or I'll just paint them myself if need be. There's some plastic here, I guess just, there you go. There's your unboxing, unwrapping. But yeah, that's it so far. Here we have the front of the headset, some cooling ports. You can see there's fans there and there. I can see them behind. I'm not sure if you can see that on camera, but it does have active cooling. This faceplate comes off. This is a modular headset, so the faceplate can be removed and can be replaced with different faceplates. So far, the Lighthouse faceplate has been shown off. That faceplate obviously allows for Lighthouse tracking. There will be another faceplate for mixed reality, which will have color cameras for color pass-through. This currently has black and white pass-through, like Quest 2 and Quest 1 and other such headsets using these 4 cameras. But that's more so just for, you know, finding your location. It's not really going to be used, I don't believe, for any particular... it's not going to be used much for things like mixed reality or anything. As for build quality, I have beside me here, I have an old, this is a 5K Plus. say plastic quality is quite a bit better, although of course this plastic, yeah, actually feeling it, it's significantly better plastic, but of course this plastic was replaced with the kind of rubberized plastic that we saw on the kind of blue purple headsets that come out a bit later. So build quality wise, I would say it feels good. Balance wise, it seems, yeah, quite balanced, but that's to be expected with the battery in the back. But yeah, it feels quite balanced. I'll have to try it on my head. I'll try it on now in a second just to give you a first impression of that, but I won't be changing the camera around to show it. I'll just put it on for a second and let you know what I think. Size comparison if you'd like. It's very, very similar. It's definitely no, actually it's about the same width. Depth is similar, but you know, there's a lot more going on in here. Weight wise, it feels fine right now holding it. It feels very similar to what the AKX felt like with a counterweight. It's definitely not going to be for everyone. You know, this type of weight doesn't bother me personally, but I know some people, even very light headsets, give them headaches. So that's going to be very much a personal preference. I know for me, I don't mind a heavier headset. I've worn motorbike helmets for years that are heavier than this, things like that. So I've never gotten headaches from wearing anything heavy on my head. So that's 100% not an issue for me. That is something that is extremely subjective. So it could be a complete deal breaker for you, or you might be in the same ballpark as myself where it's not really an issue. That's something I can't answer for you, unfortunately. But let me just pop this on for a second, just to see what the comfort's like out of the box. Also, I'd like to note that this type of head strap, this kind of Vive Pro style head strap, is one that I'm not a fan of. So it'll be interesting to see if it's any better than the experiences I've had with this type of head strap before. All right, extremely brief impressions just there. I put it on for like maybe 30 seconds, moved my head about a bit. No light leakage whatsoever, actually. Very surprised by that because, you know, normally facial interfaces, everyone's face is a bit different, so I'm quite lucky that out of the box, this actually seems to fit my face perfectly. I'll probably change the facial gasket for a PU leather one, like this style here. I just much prefer that. It's a lot more comfortable than the Vive Pro when I put that on initially. I will say that much. You know, this type of head strap here with the counterweight is working a lot better. I'll have to try for obviously a much longer period of time. 30 seconds, you can't really tell much. Just very, very brief initial thoughts. There was a little bit of inertia, but again, that's just I need to tune it in, tighten the strap, see where we get from there. But I will say my immediate thought is positive. This seems like a headset that will probably be fine for me. I'm sure it won't be fine for many, but that's, you know, VR headsets are very, very subjective. For example, the HP Reverb G2 is widely regarded as a very comfortable headset. For me, that headset is completely unwearable, and I tried modifying, I tried 3D printed different facial interfaces. I could never get that headset to be comfortable for me, but that is completely subjective. That's not in any way to say anything negative about the Reverb G2, just that for my personal face shape, it was not something I could get working well. This one and previous Pimax headsets that I've had are very comfortable for me. What I will say, just for reference, is my most comfortable headset is the Vive Pro with the Vive Deluxe audio strap and a counterweight. That headset for me I could wear indefinitely. It's absolutely perfect in terms of weight and in terms of feel. Of course, it can always get better, but I mean in terms of just the headsets that I've tried so far. And I haven't tried something like the Big Screen Beyond, which is very, very bespoke and tailored for your specific face. But initial impressions are that this will likely be fine. Then let me just very briefly give some impressions of the controllers, and then we'll wrap this up. So here we have the Pimax controllers. I'm not sure what they're calling them. I would assume not Pimax Touch. The feel, quite light, but not in a bad way. You know, light isn't a bad thing. For reference, I've been using the Quest Pro the last while. Those controllers are obviously absolutely fantastic, and they feel very nice in the hand. They are weighty, which, you know, is a pro and a con for some. So far, grip button, trigger. Oh, the trigger actually feels better than I expected. The grip button is it's your typical grip button. Let's say I would put it as Pico 4, pretty much the same as the Pico 4. Trigger maybe slightly better than the Pico 4, but I'm going from memory here. I mean, I have a a Vive wand here. Everything beats that. But yeah, I also have Valve Index. I can tell I instantly prefer these. Just the Valve Index, as much as I love the hand strap on it, I find ergonomically they're not great. Thumbstick feels a little bit light, but it's good springiness. Click feels good. Click feels quite good, actually. I can click from any angle, which is more than could be said for the Valve Index on launch. That was another quirk of that controller, along with them just randomly exploding. But I'll try to leave my biases at the door there. Buttons, yeah, not bad. Standard. You know, this is not going to, I don't think, be writing the handbook for how controller feel and ergonomics should be, but honestly, it's good. It's good. It's nothing spectacular, nothing groundbreaking, but absolutely, my initial impressions are absolutely that this is usable. I like this is a bit elongated compared to the Quest 2, and it's also a bit thinner. So I feel this actually is better for larger hands like myself. If you have smaller hands, then, you know, that might be a different case. But at the same time, I think you would just shift up a little bit. So I'm not sure what these parts are for. I think they're just fitting sections. But yeah, the controller feels good. It's a little lanyard. I'll be removing that immediately, and yeah, feel the exact same. Left controller clicks the exact same, you know, from any angle. We've got the menu button and a Pimax button. So this has an extra button, I believe. I'm trying to go off memory here. Hold on, let me see. I have a Rift controller here. Yeah, so this has an extra button. That's nice. I'm always happy to have extra buttons, particularly for something like Skyrim VR. Having an extra button is a godsend if it's mappable. Let me try something quickly. So we have this lanyard. I personally hate these little things, but they serve a very good purpose. But just for day-to-day use, I would never want to have one on my controller. So on this controller, this is the Rift or Quest 1/Rift S controller. I have these AMVR grips, so I'm going to see if these fit. And actually, out of interest, hold on, I'll remove this first, and then I just want to compare them side by side. This video, apologies, this video is probably a lot longer than an unboxing video reasonably should be, but I guess it's also a first impressions to some extent. But I should also mention I am under NDA from Pimax, so there's certain things I can't talk about, but I believe anything in an unboxing should be fine. Wow, they're very, very similar in terms of size and ergonomics. A bit longer. I will say materials on this, like this part here, is kind of more rubberized, so it does feel a bit nicer. But I'm putting a grip on it. I don't care about that anyway. The grip button feels a wee bit more bouncy and a bit less hollow. It's side by side, yeah, this is a little bit nicer, but realistically you're not going to notice, at least I'm not, and I'm usually quite picky about things for what it's worth. I actually prefer the trigger on this controller. I'm not sure if that'll be an opinion that other people will hold, but personally I prefer the trigger on it. I much prefer the thumbstick on the Pimax, purely because of the size. This is tiny. It is minute. It is preposterously small. I didn't realize until this moment how small this was. It never bothered me before, but now this is too small. Wow. Okay. Wow, I really prefer that. I did not expect that. These buttons here feel almost the exact same. These are slightly higher quality. These buttons feel the exact same, pretty much. And they're not, you know, the feel of that button, I don't care too much. Size-wise, very similar. And let's see if the... Pardon me, I hit a bunch of things there. Size-wise, let me see if this fits on the way I would hope it does. Bingo. That fits in just fine. Of course, you're running into the issue where you need to charge this. And, you know, taking this on and off is a bit of a pain. So hopefully a third-party solution comes along, or a first-party solution. I wouldn't have any issue with buying a first-party solution for something like this. Yep, that's the exact same. Or, you know, that works. Not the exact same, but it works just fine. Let's see. Yeah, that is, yeah, great. And this gives it a nice bit of a chunkier feel. Fits in excellently. Yeah, there we go. Brilliant. I have another hand strap I'll try later. I prefer leather than these, although the stretchiness of this is actually something I just realized is nice and I missed. But yeah, that's perfect. Apparently this does have finger tracking also, like the index style, you know, like your individual fingers like that. So that'll be very interesting. If it does, then this could make it a true successor to the index knuckles. Of course, assuming you're willing to move away from lighthouse tracking, which personally I am dying to do because I just want to get rid of base stations. I think lighthouse tracking is amazing, but it's just not for me. My own personal setup and everything else, it just is awkward. So what I might do if I decide to keep using these is maybe, yeah, cutting in a hole here to get access to this would be, yeah, that seems like a no-go. However, if I was to use this without bothering to, maybe I could use it without this and then just slip it out, charge it, pop it in. Although really, I just have to check the battery life. You know, if I'm having to charge it every day, then I might go with this approach perhaps. Or maybe what I might do is put a piece of Velcro tape here and on that, and then nope, that won't reach it. Never mind. I guess I could do it here actually and have, you know, it just stick there. And then that actually wouldn't be touching the tracking ring. That actually fits up. It actually fits surprisingly flush with this. Sorry, I might have been showing stuff to myself rather than to the camera. Apologies for that if that was the case. But yeah, AMVR grips work great. So that's out of the box. We have an option for knuckle style straps. Brilliant. And that's everything in the box. So that was my unboxing, my first impressions. Hope you enjoyed that. I'm very excited to get trying this headset now, so I will turn off this video, probably not edit it for 2 days while I play the Crystal and do nothing else, and I'll give more impressions in the future. And thanks for watching. Hope this was informative, hope it was helpful in some way, and I'm very excited to get trying this headset. Whether it's for you or not, I think the best thing is always to check out as much information from as many people as you can and try to build an opinion on consensus. Never listen to one person, and try to figure out, you know, people that like similar headsets to you, that have similar use cases as yourself. For me, I'm a larger person, chunky head. I like heavy headsets, or rather heavy headsets don't bother me. I mostly play shooters and story-driven first-person games. So that should give maybe a brief idea of what I'm into. But yeah, I'll maybe go over that further, compare it to a few different headsets at some stage to try and give people an idea of maybe how it compares to headsets that they already have and help them gauge from there if it's a headset that they want to buy or not. But yeah, thanks very much for your time and take care.